The story begins with Wildfire, who has just finished a long day of work in the field. As he is feeling tired, a man approaches him and thanks him for his hard work, offering him a monetary reward for his efforts. However, the Wildfire refuses to accept the money, stating that his philosophy is not to charge for good work. Those around him express their admiration for his principles, and the Wildfire is content knowing that he has gained a good reputation. He explains that the game he is playing is called Divine Catastrophe, which has become extremely popular in the short time since its launch, with over 1 billion players. The game is known for its realistic graphics and various professions, including adventurer, wizard, and knight, which have contributed to its success. The Wildfire is currently at level 1 without a profession, and his reputation is 9. He mentions that in order to change professions, players need 10 reputation points, and he only needs 1 more to become a holy knight. After that, we see the Wildfire, who is walking calmly, meet an old man who asks him for help. The Wildfire quickly approaches, asking the old man what he needs. The man answers that he needs help, but he doesn't know if he is the right one. The Wildfire tells him not to worry because he can complete any mission, and the old man tells him that he needs someone to take the ring to the city. And the Wildfire says in his mind that the city is very close and that the mission will be very easy. The old man throws the ring to the Wildfire. However, when he tries to catching the ring, his body begins to change so much that it seems like another person, and the Wildfire realizes that the old man has disappeared. The system appears to be saying that he has had the profession of a tyrant and that he has a reputation of -100 points during that time. Something that leaves the Wildfire, in which the old man appears and tells him that since he joined the tyrants are on the same side, and that now he can give him some advice. However, the Wildfire, who is very angry, tells him to shut up and that he has no problem with him, and because he did that, the old man replies that he told him that he could complete any mission, and that he does not know why he is angry. The Wildfire, with tears in his eyes, tell him that he did missions to get a good conduct point and be able to become a holy knight, but because of him, he lost everything. The old man tells him that this is his chance and that in the future he will learn the true strength of a tyrant. And the Wildfire, with a bad face or a face of not being convinced, asks him if the old man is serious. He thought that his reputation had dropped from 9 to 100. And the old man interrupts him, telling him that many of his powers are restricted, but that he will leave him a gift by leaving the place. The Wildfire checks the system to see what skills his profession as a tyrant has, but it shows nothing, and the Wildfire leaves the place, saying that the old man tricked him and that he will return to the city to see if there is a way to change his profession. After that, we see the Wildfire, which has returned to the city. When he arrives, he says that in the game, there will be a war where players can get great rewards. They have a lot of achievements and a lot of reputation, and they will take advantage of this event to reverse their -100 reputation. When he is about to enter the city, guard tells him to stop, or else he will be attacked, and the Wildfire stops, and asks him if they are talking about him, and not to worry that he is not a bad person. But a large number of guards begin to change, and the Wildfire says it's all the fault of that old man. Then the system appears and asks him if he wants to activate the ability of the villain, and he is not the Wildfire, which is false, and subsequently ends up surrounded by all the guards. So without more options, he decides to activate the ability to see that strange light begin to come out of his arm, and at that moment, a knight attacked him. However, this quickly ends up making him a big cut and defeating him, and it appears the system says that for having attacked a guard of the city, sympathy has been lowered and also a bounty has been placed on his head in the city of 10 gold coins, and the Wildfire tries to apologize to the guards. However, these quickly attack him, but the Wildfire easily dodges them. However, that appears to be the captain of the knights, who quickly attack the Wildfire. He thinks he is lost, but he feels that he did not do any damage to anything. That leaves him very surprised, and he changes his expression, saying that it is his turn, and quickly, with a series of movements, begins to defeat the guards. While apologizing in the process, after a while he ends up defeating them. The Wildfire reviews his status, saying as he suspected. His ability increases according to the refuge rotation. The lower his reputation, the higher the increase in attributes in the novel. The Wildfire says that because of this ability, he will not be able to enter the city, so he will have to go to another city of chaos. But first he will check the guards to see if they have anything of value. After that, we see a few subjects arrive where the Wildfire had fought, and when the leader asks what happened in this place, one of his subordinates tells him that it was an adventurer who defeated them all. The leader asks if there is such an adventure, but it does not matter, and he shouts to his subordinates that he will put a bounty of 200 gold coins on his head and that he wants him dead or alive. After that, we see the Wildfire, who goes to the City of Chaos, where there appears to be a system that tells they have put a bounty of $200 on him. He says that he wanted to change his job from being a Knight Templar to being a Knight Sacrifice. However, he ended up being a tyrant with 300 reputations. He can't even enter the main city, but the only good thing is the villain's skill, which lasts a few minutes but has a cooldown of almost an hour. The main character says that this game is very realistic, even though he is very hungry. He says that he meets a person who says that maybe he can find food and water in that small village, and when he tries to ask him about it, he tells him that he can't go to the main city. After that, we see the wildfire dot who is in the village. However, he has surrounded him and told him not to go near, and the wildfire replied that they have misjudged him, thinking he doesn't want to hurt anyone. However, the people after we run out of the place see the wildfire, who is walking around the village, and this one says that unless he finds me food, he will starve to death, and that this one finds food since the villagers left the place because of the wildfire, and this one wonders if it is okay to take his food. But he ends up eating the villagers' food since he can't stand the hunger, at which point the system seems to tell him that he is stealing food from the villagers, and because of that he gets -1 reputation and -10 silver coins. After the wildfire finished eating, he planned to leave the place, but he decided to change his outfit and ends up stealing some clothes, and again, the system seems to tell him that he has stolen another item, and his stats increased. After that, the wildfire left the place where we see the villagers checking to see if he has not stolen anything from them. He had only stolen some clothes and food. One of the villagers found a letter that had been left by the wildfire, in which he said, "I was very hungry and thirsty. I am sorry for taking a little of your stuff. Then I'll come back and pay you." From there, we see the wildfire who, after a while, manages when he finally reaches the City of Chaos. He is surprised because no one recognizes him, but then does not give it importance and decides to go to a small hut in the city. The owner tells the wildfire what he wants, and he answers that he wants 20 rations of milk and 20 rations of bread, that he only wants food, and that will take a long time. The owner of the place answers Trip that this place is not for children and that the only thing he can offer him is beer, and we see that all the people in the place start to laugh at the wildfire, but he just ignores them and tells them that he does not want beer. The owner of the place answers him by saying that he respects his decision but that things are very expensive here. The wildfire replies that he killed some wild monsters on the way here and there and now has 50 silver coins if there is not something on the menu that he can buy at that price. The owner replies that for 20 servings of milk and 20 servings of breath, the total would be 4 gold coins, and that you can pay for the product to go to the mission table. As he is already on his way to the mission table, the wildfire goes to the mission table since, apparently, this tavern is like a guild, in which he can do missions for great rewards. Well, after this brief explanation, the lord of the tavern tells the wildfire that this is not a place where he can't be and that the best thing is that he should go home, and we see the person from home saying that. The wildfire must be very scared to realize that all the quests involve very powerful monsters that he will have to face. The wildfire chooses a quest, and the tavern lord tells him where he can collect the reward after completing it. And the tavern lord asks him if he is sure they want to kill a beast called Kasky. The treasury says that all the people hearing this began to laugh at the wildfire and wondered if he was crazy. The lord of the tavern tells the wildfires so that he can earn a lot of money if he completes this mission. However, I remind him that this beast is the most powerful in the place. The wildfire says that he understands, but to wait for his return by leaving the place. Then we see the wildfire, who is looking for the beast, and he thinks he is lost. But the description of the mission said that the beast must be in that place, but he can't find it anywhere. The wildfire sits down to rescue, complaining that having walked so much made him hungry, and that this game is a little annoying because it feels very realistic, so he decides to eat a little and recover energy to continue looking for the beast. After the wildfire finishes eating, he decides to leave the place, but at that moment he feels a strong tremor and quickly gets on guard, wondering if it is a beast. He cannot see any sudden opening, but a scream comes out, and a small beast comes out, leaving the wildfire very disappointed. But the small beast ends up becoming a monster. The wildfire was looking for it, and he prepares himself by saying that if the monster is a beast, he will be able to see it. The monster quickly attacked. The wildfire dodges it and then attacks the monster. However, the wildfire realizes that the attack did not do any damage, and the monster took advantage of the moment and attacked the wildfire, smashing him to the ground. However, the wildfire gets going as if nothing happened, and she quickly attacked him with a series of movements and ended up ending his life. The system then gave him the valuable items all at once that were of epic and rare quality, something that left the wildfire a little confused. However, the system explains how the items are classified in the game and made up of a series of lower ranks to the highest, which are ordinary, rare, epic, and legendary. After this brief explanation, we see the wildfire, who is reviewing his new item that he got from the monster at level 25, and that when he entered the game, he was just at level 13, which now shows in the statistics that all are above level. The wildfire decides to leave the place, so they proceed to take the corpse of the sea. However, for more than he tries but cannot move the monster, so he gives up and decides to return to the tavern, and he tells the lord of the tavern and Moto Monster West astonished, but the people say that he must be crazy or joking, because a brat like him can't kill that monster, and one of the guys gets up and approaches him and says that most likely he must have been walking around all day, and then comes back and says that he killed the Kasky, but the wildfire just ignores and asks if he can claim his reward. Henry ends up walking away, and the man from the tavern tells him that he really killed the cask and where his body is, since cask meat is the tastiest in the world, but he won't pay if he doesn't have the body. The wildfire replied that if you don't, I know how big that thing is, and I can't carry it. So he had to leave it outside the city. He has evidence. However, the lord of the tavern gets upset, telling him that enough is enough, and how dare he play with it if he doesn't know what situation he is in. And you see people saying that the wildfire is just pissed off the owner, that perhaps he doesn't know who he is and that he is a guy who had a reward of 100 gold coins. We see that the wildfire does not give him the importance that the man of the tavern does, who says that he has not done this for a long time, but he will have to teach him a lesson. The wildfire tells him that he just told him that he killed the cask and that he is outside the city, and if he wants, he can take him there to check the evidence, but nonetheless, he has to pay him. The man of the tavern laughs, and the wildfire tells him that he has just told him that he killed the cask, that he is outside the city, and that he can take him there to check the evidence, but nonetheless, he has to pay him. The man of the tavern laughs, and the tavern lord laughs and asks him if he is threatening him. He quickly attacks the wildfire, but he dodges it, and the tavern lord tells him that he has a little speed and won't be able to dodge his next blow. Wildfire is with its sword, saying that it looks like he won't give him his reward until he teaches him a lesson, and without the tavern lord realizing it, he taught him a lesson. He had given him a little cut and told him that if he doesn't pay him, he will send him to the hospital, and the people in the tavern said the same thing, and since the tavern lord was not that strong, he said to shut up and leave the place and threw another blow, but he doesn't manage to do any damage, which leaves him very surprised because he used 30% of his strength and he can't do any trait. He quickly charges all his energy against the wildfire and causes a big explosion, but this only lowers him by 2% of life, and the wildfire says that enough games have begun and begins to hit the lord of the tavern with a series of attacks until he tells him that he will give him the mud. After that, the wildfire is counting the money, and the tavern lord asks the wildfire if that is enough, but the wildfire tells him that there is still money left. He is very scared and runs to see if there is any money left, but he had already given him all the money, so the wildfire approaches him and reminds him that he had asked for it, so he quickly decides to go look for it. We see the local people who say that clearly the tavern owner is strong, but the wildfire is much stronger, and they hope he does not take revenge for what they said. Once the wildfire left, everyone was calm, but he returned to make him agree on the exact place where Kasky was when a girl appeared, and asks what the problem is and why it is closed. The girl's name is Vicky, and she came to deliver the last bounty reports and, above all, tell them that there is a boy who looks weak but nevertheless has a reward of 203 gold coins for his head. People inside the bar ask her to repeat what she just said, and she repeats herself that there's a weak-looking boy with a bounty worth 100,203 coins. They then confirm with her if the guy she is looking for is wearing a black coat, and she confirms it. After hearing this, the owner feels a little better because now he knows he lost a big guy and not to some low-class person. Vicky learns about his humiliating defeat and teases him more to make him feel bad for the defeat. At the same time, the wildfire wanders in the city because he hasn't been able to find a blacksmith yet. He also doesn't feel fully confident in his abilities, so he wants to use Casca's horn to create a useful weapon. The wildfire then gets approached by a man, who reveals that he's the best blacksmith he could find and that he is ready to help him. The wildfire feels happy because his hunt for a blacksmith is now almost over. The blacksmith then asks him to come with him so he could help her, and the wildfire reveals to him that he needs someone who can craft weapons for him. The wildfire then shows him something valuable, which is the horn, and after seeing it, the blacksmith loses his mind and tells him that he will craft a powerful mine for him if he gives it to him. Wildfire also almost gives it to him until Vicky shows up and stops him. She reveals the blacksmith to be someone called Brian, and she knows him as a big fraud. Brian gets scared after the truth about him is revealed, and now he can't scam the wildfire, so he starts to run away. The wildfire asks Vicky why she helped him, and Vicky tells him that she just wants to help him out. During the conversation, she also reveals that she knows where to find the best blacksmith, and she could take him to that place. The wildfire agrees to go with her but also makes it clear that he will not hold back if she tries to betray him. While on their journey, Vicky asks him if we actually defeated Kasky, and the wildfire says yes, and it wasn't hard for him. Vicky then shows him the city of Valuga and tells him that they will find the blacksmith there. Both go through the sewers of the city. After a while, they finally reach the city. They arrive at the house of someone called Mr. Timothy, who is a friend of Vicky's father. Mr. Timothy opens the door and meets them. Vicky reveals to him that his friend Wildfire is looking for a good blacksmith to use the Kasky horn to craft something. At first, Mr. Timothy doesn't believe that he has a Kasky horn, but after discovering its truth, he gets excited and agrees to craft. Mr. Timothy reveals that he can make a weapon that can grow, and the Wildfire gets shocked after hearing it. Timothy then asks him if he believes in his ability, and the Wildfire says why not. Timothy then takes the horn from it and goes straight to work by locking the door. Vicky suggests that they should go outside to talk as it's hot there. Vicky then tells him that Mr. Timothy will get the job done, and suddenly some troops arrive there, which is when Vicky hides him to save him. After a while, Mr. Timothy completes the work and returns with a strong weapon. He gives the weapon to the Wildfire, and it has many great abilities. The Wildfire tries to thank him, but Timothy reveals that what he needs is money, exactly 200 gold coins. The Wildfire reveals that he actually doesn't have that much money, but Vicky reveals that he can pay in credit and she will arrange jobs for him. Having no other choice, the Wildfire agrees and goes with Vicky to find some jobs. At first, she suggests he take some illegal jobs, but he doesn't like them, which Vicky finds ironic as he's literally a villain. She then suggests that he become a mercenary because two big cities are going to fight each other and are actively recruiting people to fight for them. Wildfire agrees to do it, so they go to visit the first city and immediately get mistaken for the enemy, and then Vicky reveals that they are actually here to join the army as mercenaries. When they go inside the castle, the city refuses to take them as mercenaries due to their notorious past, and they don't want troublemakers. Vicky then suggests that it won't be good for them if they join the other city and fight them instead. The Grand Master then tells her that they will still win but that it would be better to get rid of them here, so he orders his soldiers to completely surround Vicky and the Wildfire. The Wildfire then wastes no time and immediately kills the Grand Master, shocking everyone. All the troops then try to take him down but stand no chance as he annihilates them. After defeating them, the Wildfire then confronts Castellan, who submits himself to him and offers him the job of Lord of the City, and the Wildfire too gets the notification that he has to take this job. Vicky tells him that this is a big thing, and she will handle the rest to make him popular and increase his popularity. She rushes toward the city and spreads the news everywhere. Everyone learns about this feat of the Wildfire and decides to visit the castle. After a while, a whole crowd gathers outside of the castle, and even the Wildfire gets scared after seeing this. The Wildfire decides that he could use these people to earn some money. He jumps from the top to confront the crowd, and the crowd gives a mixed reaction. Some believe in his ability, but some also doubt it. And in between all this, a man comes out of the crowd to challenge him, as he believes he's stronger than the Wildfire himself. He tries to kill the Wildfire and runs towards him, but this is nothing for him as the Wildfire easily defeats him and shuts down all of the doubters. Wildlife then greets everyone and reveals his wish to govern the city well, and to start, he gives the dam a task to earn coins. The task is simple, which is to clean the city as it's currently a mess, and then everyone gets to work. After some time, the king of another city arrives to meet the Wildfire. He introduces himself as Hadewu and admires the strength of Wildfire. They both then start to talk about various matters, and then Hadewu sees many adventurers in the city doing chores, so he reveals his feelings about them, as he thinks that all the adventurers are bad and shouldn't be allowed in the city, but he didn't know that Wildfire himself is an adventurer. Hadewu's assistant then suggests that he watch his words as Wildfire is also an adventurer, which immediately shocks him as he now realizes what he has done. The Wildfire then shares his honest opinion that he doesn't believe adventurers are completely useless as they are now fixing the city, and Hadewu too agrees to it to fix his mistakes. Wildfire then shows him the castle, which is pretty huge compared to the one Hadewu lives in. Vicky then asks for a minute with the Wildfire to talk with him in private. She says that even though he is doing good, the city needs more to fix itself, and they have to make more changes. After thinking for a while, Wildfire suggests that they should hire a lot of new people and increase salaries, which might fix the system. But Vicky couldn't believe his dumbness as she explained to him that the city could be under threat if they let outsiders in. Hadewu then shows the Wildfire all the gifts he brought for him, which include a rare medicine, 500 golden coins, and most importantly, a fire orb. Wildfire likes the fire orb so much that he decides to give other treasures to Vicky, and Hadewu can't believe that he is giving everything to his subordinate. Hadewu then leaves the palace, and Wildfire checks the gold coins he just received. He then asks Vicky to become his partner, and he will help her too. Suddenly, the ground started to shake, and they couldn't understand what's happening. They go to see what's happening and see that a giant monster is causing great destruction in the city, and some people are trying to fight back. Wildfire discovers that it's a level 100 boss that's pretty strong to deal with. Some adventurers try to fight and defeat it, but its power remains unmatched, so Wildfire decides to take matters into his own hands. He orders Vicky to escort all the city people while he goes and kills the monster. Vicky goes to the city and begins to help people save their lives, and at the same time, the Wildfire goes straight to kill the monster, and another adventurer believes he has lost his mind because it's almost impossible to take it down alone. Wildfire doesn't listen and attacks the monster as other adventurers watch him fight it. Some decide to join him in the struggle, and some even think of betraying him. Wildfire then shows his real power to everyone as he launches a powerful attack at the monster to take it down, and he also acknowledges that it isn't as strong as he thought. But suddenly the monster starts to regain its energy as it looks like it's preparing for something powerful. And that's how the first part of this manhwa ends. Well guys, if you like this video and you want a second part, comment below with the word power. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell and like the video. But most important, leave a comment. Until the next video.